We're talking about native identity as the comparative topic and issue between my two countries of Guam and New Zealand. Now, I do know technically Guam is not a country, but we'll talk about that later. So, the reason why I came up with talking about native identity is because of my struggles to find my identity as a native Hawaiian. Now, that's an entirely different topic that we need not go into. However, it is how I got started on this. So, we talk about Guam. Guam is a um, territory, an unincorporated territory of the United States. It is located in Micronesia. Some people who are from Guam do not like being called Micronesian, so for their sake, we'll just say they're located within the region or in proximity to the region of Micronesia. So Guam's history is very brutal. The native Chamorro experienced a near total genocide by the Spanish in the years between 1500s and the beginning of the 1900s. That is when Guam was colonized by the U.S. after the Spanish-American War and the Treaty of Paris. And then because of its proximity to Japan, Japan actually took it over in World War II, and the U.S. retook it when they won the war. But through all the different power struggles and changes of power, the Chamorro were thrown on the side, cast aside, and they lost their power and voice. Now, the other country we're going to talk about, a little history about them, is New Zealand, and their native peoples, the Maori. So they had an also very brutal history, but now it is a lot easier for them, better for them in a sense. So they ended up signing away their sovereignty, becoming a colony of Great Britain with the Treaty of Waitangi. In it, they were given protection and rights as any citizen under the crown. However, in the 70s, the Maori Renaissance emerged, and this fruition of and revitalization of Maori language education system and traditional Maori schools. So there's a very brief history of the two countries and where they stand. Currently in Guam, they are an unincorporated territory of the United States. They do not enjoy all of the rights and privileges that states and territories have. Additionally, the U.S. military has a huge presence on Guam. The naval base was combined with Andersen Air Force Base and is now known as the Naval Base Guam. With the Navy and military there, the huge military presence kind of influences its natives to enlist in the U.S. military. And having veterans surrounded you growing up as a veteran or growing up with veterans, it kind of makes you think between being Chamorro, if you're trying to be independent and sovereign, or are we still part of America? Now, in New Zealand, they are an independent nation, and what they're mainly fighting with is land settlements, because during colonization, many colonial families did land grabs, and now native peoples who are dispossessed of their land are trying to fight back. So some current solutions that Guam is trying to use to solve their kind of crisis with native identity is Chamorro Renaissance, that similar to how the Maori have, they're introducing Chamorro language instruction in their classes and cultural activism. They're also trying to promote Chamorro conferences between all the native peoples in the Marianas. And they recently came out with a movie that I will show the trailer of in a little bit, called American Soil and Chamorro Soul. So, going to New Zealand, they're continuing the development of Maori cultural practices and traditions through education. It goes to show how much better off the Maori are than the Chamorro, although their situations were very different. Now, possible solutions to their problems of cultural and native identity. One of the main solutions we could use, especially with the age that we live in, is the use of social media and technology to empower and inform others about the history of Guam and New Zealand and the actions that were taken against its native peoples. You can use this to connect with others who are experiencing similar struggles and find your balance between tradition and modernization. Another solution that you can do, and this is mainly for New Zealand, is a land trust bill that is similar to the Hawaiian Homes Commissions Act that we were able to pass in Hawaii. However, with the current situation in New Zealand, I don't believe that this is really possible. We passed this act in the 1920s before all of this development and modernization. So this would be a long shot in terms of solution. So only the future will tell what will happen with these nations. But as promised, here is American Soil, Chamorro Soul.
They say Guam was discovered in 1521, but I don't know how you can discover a place where Chamorro people have lived for 3,000 years.
Who are we? What is our identity?
We are indigenous and we are important.
Just be proud of who you are and don't forget that you are Chamorro.
I do hope that all peoples around the world who are struggling with this crisis of native identity can really figure it out, because as a native Hawaiian, I'm still not sure where I stand. So find your balance, and I wish you luck. Thank you very much. Aloha.